Hey guys, what's going on? Paul here. Welcome back to another Cardano video. This one's going to be all about Cardano native assets and looking at the last 7 days to see what are the biggest movers, both gainers and losers, and try and figure out what has been moving the price of these individual tokens. If you'd like to see this as a regular video, let me know down below. I'm thinking every Monday morning I could put this out, looking to see what's going on and hopefully help with your research and keeping up with what's happening with native assets on Cardano. Get value, please do share it out, comment questions, give it a like, subscribe if you're new. I do appreciate it. Let's jump into it. Okay, before we fully jump into Tap Tools here to look at the projects, any projects I talk about is not meant as an endorsement of them or to say they're bad just because they're moving down. It's looking at what are the main movers and maybe some of the reasons behind that as well. As we're looking at price, let's look at the overall charts. So you can see Bitcoin up 13% for the last week and Aada up just under 10%. It was just under 10% this morning, sitting at just under 40 cents right now, up from number 8 last week. Passed out BUSD due to everything that's going on there with Paxos and BUSD having to basically wind down and not being able to mint anymore. So looking at Tap Tools, anyone who hasn't seen this before, I've done a video on it recently walking through some of the features. It's a site that I really like, offers a lot when you want to dive deeper into Cardano native assets. Up on top here, these are based on the last 24 hours, so the trending tokens, so the ones with the most volume. AGIX, Minswap and Copy, top gainers then and top losers, again based on the last 24 hours. But if there isn't much volume in a token, sometimes it doesn't take a lot of volume to either push the token up 10% or push it down either. But we'll get into that type of stuff as we go through it. So for me, we're going to stick down here and we're going to be doing this based on 7 days. So you can reorder here to get the last 7 days. And just a note on total market cap. So people look at this and see that AGIX is number 1, WMT is number 2, and they're both really good projects. But right now, this is ordered by the total amount of tokens that project has multiplied by price to give the total market cap. But hopefully in not too far away, we'll be able to see the circulating supply, which is what things are generally ordered by over here. You can see circulating supply. So that is the number of tokens currently in circulation, and that multiplied by price gives you the overall market cap. So I'm looking forward to that being put in here as well, because sometimes you can have projects that does have a really big supply long term, but the supply mightn't come out for 20 or 30 years yet. So what you care about is what's currently in circulation by the price then. So if we look at over the last 7 days, cNeta is in at number 1. This is wrapped Bitcoin on Ergo and Cardano. So decentralized on-chain wrapped Bitcoin. Not a project I've dived too much into yet, but I would say the main reason for the movement in this one is the testnet came out last week on Ergo. And if you look down here, they say the Cardano public testnet is scheduled for March. So generally when things like that are happening, people see progress, people see building, then that generally encourages people to get involved in a project. So I would say that's probably the main reason here. You can see volume over the last 24 hours here. It's okay. It's still in general, the volume on Cardano native assets isn't that massive yet. Minswap is the one exception to this right now. You can see fairly decent volume over the last 24 hours, up just under 40% in the last 7 days and up over 94% in the last 30 days. So Minswap, I'm sure most people in Cardano are familiar with, the number 1 DEX right now based on TVL for Cardano at just under 42 million. Wing Riders is next up as far as DEXs go at just under 20 million. So Minswap currently with TVL is over 2x their nearest competitor. It's a DEX that's continually building, continually looking to grow and bring new features. The fee switch is one where this really helps their liquidity. They're taking a small part of every fee on the DEX and putting it back into the Min Aada LP pair. So really helping liquidity there and giving people a lot of confidence that they're continually looking to do something new. And just what I mentioned on Tap Tools, looking for the circulating supply. There is a GitHub repository on Minswap where you can go over and projects can put in their circulating supply, which will help Tap Tools add that in here as well. Aada Finance is up next with over 37% for the last 7 days. Nice growth there as well. I mentioned them in the Cardano catch-up last Friday, talking about how they are going to be adding pooled liquidity as well as their original peer-to-peer. So they are a lending and borrowing protocol built on Cardano. Started out with peer-to-peer lending and borrowing, but moving into pooled, which is what we've seen more traditionally with other chains as well, and what Liquid Finance have. I think it's definitely got a lot more interest. You can see they've also added new assets. They're another project that seems to be continually looking to bring out new features as well. VyFinance up next at up over 16.5% for the last 7 days. VyFinance, another DeFi protocol on Cardano, building a DEX, but on top of that also building automated yield farming, a DEX aggregator, and they do have their bar as well, which I'm not going to get into here, but it should help with some of the sell pressure on the token. Another thing so one of the main reasons that I could find for the movement was they're talking about the testnet coming out very soon and hopefully a launch not too far away. Another thing as well is they put out an article, I closed it here actually, I was reading it, on the emissions for the token once they do launch. They're looking to cut that so there won't be just as many tokens coming into supply when they launch. So that should help with some of the sell pressure, which normally when DeFi protocols launch, there's a lot of sell pressure. So I would say a mix of them reasons is why that token has been moving up. In number 5 then we have the Clay token, which is for Claymates Clay Nation. They started out as an NFT project, one of the biggest on Cardano, but they do a lot more as well. They are building a metaverse. They had a song out last year with Snoop Dogg's son, came out around the summit. You've seen Charles and the 2 founders of Clay Nation in the video for that as well. So they're a project that, again, continue building, have a really good community. Not sure of the exact reason for the token moving up the last 7 days, but you can see if you go through them, they are constantly looking to build on their community and bring out new features as well. So then we're looking at the ones that have fallen the most for the last 7 days. And sometimes this is where I actually try and pick out the ones that I'm going to buy, because if I see a token with really good fundamentals or something, or a token with something coming up that has fallen recently, maybe there's a buying opportunity there as well. Oftentimes I buy from this side of the list rather than the top side of it when I'm looking to get in, especially on the shorter term as well. But if you look here, the Indigo Protocol token is down over 14% for the last 7 days. Had been on a really nice run from early February. You can see still up over the last 30 days. But we'll wait and see, does it get some support or what happens over the next 7, and see where that one sits next week as well. Hosky Token down 9%. This is the main Cardano meme coin. It's still up 3% over the 30 days, so we'll wait and see where Hosky goes. But generally, Hosky tells us that he's going to rug someday and it's all downhill. We'll wait and see. They have a really good community there though. MELD, another DeFi protocol for Cardano, getting into lending and borrowing as well. They have a private testnet out right now. We haven't heard too much out of that to see when we're going to get the public testnet. So down 8.75% over the last 7 days and down 33% over the last 30 days. So depending on what's going on in the testnet or when they're going to go to mainnet, something like that might get a move up towards mainnet, but we'll wait and see where that one plays out. Gens token, another DeFi protocol for Cardano, building a DEX, down 8% over the last 7 days. From what I've seen, I haven't seen much news out of them lately in terms of a launch or testnet or anything like that. Hopefully we do get news on that one fairly soon, because I know there are some people very excited about it, but we'll see where that one goes. So then to close it out, we have NMKR, which is NMKR. I've had Patrick on the channel before here. They do a lot of really good work, especially on the infrastructure side and the tooling they're building around Cardano. Started out with just NFTs, but have moved out of that space since. So again, we'll see where these projects go. It'll be interesting to see over the next 7 days, maybe next week, see if any of these are still in the bottom 5 for the last 7 days. At that point, you start to think, okay, what's really going on here? So then if we look at volume, this shows kind of the interest over the last 24 hours in different tokens. And if you're not seeing much action in it, then you kind of need to do a bit more research into the project to see what's going on or why people aren't actively trading the token either. Liquidity then is another one. If there isn't much liquidity on the DEXs, then potentially when you go to put in a trade, then you could see some decent slippage, and it doesn't take much to move the price. Of these ones here, Gens is the lowest, so any big volume of gens being bought or sold could have a very big impact on the overall price. I hope this type of video has been helpful. If it has, please do let me know down below. Let me know what would help improve this or getting this type of content across. I do appreciate it. Have a great week and subscribe if you're new. I'll talk to you soon.